everyone, and welcome down to episode 190 of the Down South Photo Show with me, Brendan Waits, here in Ocean Grove, Victoria, Australia, and the guy on your other screen or in your other ear if you're listening to the podcast. It's Cam Blake in Hobart, Tasmania, Australia. Hello, Cameron.
Hello, Brendan. You do sound a bit tired, don't you? You just said that off air. I'm a bit tired.
Yeah, we'll just feed that straight in. No, just a lot going on. Busy boy, getting old. You know, got to look out. Got to drink more tea. Look after
drink myself. More tea. Yeah, well, it's it, isn't it? Like it takes longer to recover from big days, and I feel. Someone said I looked tired last week. Well, last episode, I was actually feeling pretty fresh. I thought. Apparently, it looked like shit. So
did someone comment that you look tired?
Yeah, someone said you're looking really tired, Cam. You need to have a rest. All right, cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know what you look like, but maybe put your head on a TV screen. We'll see how you scrub up.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Truth.
Anyway,
nothing wrong with a bit of honesty anyway.
Well, people don't hold back, do they?
No, they do not. You've been up in northwestern Tasmania again.
Yes, I have.
It's very exciting. We'll be talking about that as we go through. We're also going to show off our photos of the week shortly as well. And we're going to talk. We've got a few nice topics lined up for tonight, all thanks to the man on your other screen or in your other ear, because I ain't got nothing to do with this rundown. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, that's okay, because I had nothing to do with last episode's rundown. So this is how the show works, isn't it? We just say, should we do an episode? Yep. What can we talk about? I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get on there. And then I reckon it'd be nice to do, you know, if they did a Netflix series on us and they did like a behind the scenes of the preparation for the episode, they'd have it like a 3-second episode, I reckon, because there's nothing that gets done.
It wouldn't go very long. That's absolutely right.
It'd definitely be a 1-episode season.
One and done. But
one and done.
Yeah. But it's funny though, like when we start putting up topics, they're all in here. We just haven't put it down on the run sheet. So,
yeah.
You know, it's all stuff we know.
I think we're a bit like everyone that's into photography. Like we're always thinking it, like in any hobby that you're in, anything that you're into, like sports, music, arts, whatever it might be, photography, you're always thinking of stuff that you see that you've got an interest in. So it's only natural that we come up with topics in our head, and, you know, you probably get topics spoken about with you at work in your shop there. I got customers out in the field that want to talk shop and stuff like that. So we're never lacking of subjects. Some of them are quite reoccurring, but
yes,
we're never lacking of it. So, yeah.
How's about that lovely customer during the week that gave me a present? I'm not going to say mint. It's not. It's far from mint, but it's in very good condition. Nikon FM,
right,
with 3 lenses, 50mm 1.8. I think it had I can't remember the other 2 lenses now. I know 70 to 200, 3.5. Sound about right? Yeah, like constant 3.5, which was, you know, that was a thing. But there you go with the older lenses, and I think there was like a 75 in there as well. But all the lenses are amazing, really cool. So for those of you playing along at home, quite often people come into my shop and just give me cameras, mainly because they don't know what to do with them and can't be bothered trying to flog them off on Marketplace or Fleabay or anywhere like that. And a lot of the time, the hassle they go to even list these things and have people come and look at them and work out bank transfers and all that sort of stuff, it's not worth what they get for it in the end anyway. So what I say to people is I'm happy for people to bring me cameras safe in the knowledge that they won't go in the tip.
Of course they won't, because they go at your house and just take it.
Yeah, that's right. They end up in this room through this wall in boxes.
Yeah, that's right.
But I have started going through them of late and starting to sort of catalog them a little bit and categorize them. So it's pretty cool. One day I'll end up doing something with them. But, yeah, I definitely don't – I hate it too. I hate seeing cameras thrown away. Definitely hate that. But quite often, sadly, it's normally from someone who's departed and they weren't – and the people end up with the cameras are not photographers and don't really want to be the family photographer, and no one in the family wants it. And so it ends up coming into me, which is kind of cool and kind of a bit, you know, it's good to look after the old gear, and hopefully I'll be able to get around to sorting it all out myself, and my kids won't have to go through the same thing.
There'll be someone will take over your shop in about 20 years when you retire, and your kids will take all those cameras back into that shop and say, "Oh, Dad had a box of cameras. I don't want them. Do you want them?" That person will go, "Oh yeah, I don't want to see them go on the tip." It's just this vicious cycle.
It is,
Hey, maybe what we should do is maybe you should clean some of these cameras up. We should give them away on the show. Like
that's not a bad idea. If
as
you've got any requests for a
booby
camera,
prize.
if you've got a request for a camera you've been looking for ages, leave a comment below. I'll see if I've got one. I probably have.
I'd be interested to see if people want to put in the comments as well what their favorite film camera was if they ever owned one. You know, they may have only owned one, which might make it hard. But if you're right into your film photography, what was your favorite film camera and what was your favorite film stock? We could turn this into a film show.
Why not? Film's more popular than ever. Speaking of, I was talking to a person who understands what trending is, and someone trending in social media circles. So if something's trending, it means it's very hot right now. It's a hot topic, very popular.
Yes.
SLR cameras, mirrorless SLRs, digital is trending at the moment.
Right.
So, and the reason for it is Fuji has become massive on TikTok, apparently. And so cameras like the X106, the XT lineup, all of those have become really hot property. And our friend at DigiDirect, Mark, can back that up as well. It's an interesting time. And shout out off the top of the show, which I don't normally do, but I will in this case, to Maya, who is someone who I did a workshop with this afternoon. I did my landscape and seascape workshop this Arvo. And it was just Maya. It was great. 17, very keen on her photography. And she was telling me all about trending and telling me about how cameras have become hot property across the board. Mainly and she said to me, she says, "Oh, can you get those Fuji X100s Vs?" And I said, "Yes, I can get my hands on all that for you." So she was very excited about that. But she was saying that, cameras have had a resurgence over and above phones, which is very positive for an industry that's probably been looking for some positivity, probably for the last 10 years. So could be interesting times ahead.
Well, I think it's funny that you're hanging out with 17-year-olds and learning about trending. That's cool. But anyway, I think you're right. Like, every workshop I go on, a customer will have. I just realized that a pair of scissors are about to drop on my head. That was being good. Not
make good content.
Make good content. In every workshop I do, at least one customer has one of those little pull-out Fujis or Canon little point and shoots that come out, and it's almost like, all right, okay, what do you got that for? Oh, it's just when I want to take a couple of happy snaps, or I don't want to bring the big camera out and stuff like that. So they are very cool. And it's funny, speaking of mirrorless cameras, we had a customer on our recent Tarkon one that we just went on. It was actually a really interesting conversation between DSLRs and mirrorless SLRs. And this lady, Susan, shout out to Susan, she had just bought a new R5 or it might have been an R6 Canon, like literally brand new. She'd only had it for a few weeks and trying to figure it out still. And she really struggled going from the optical viewfinder to the electronic viewfinder, and really getting the hang around about how seeing what she normally sees with natural light just coming through the optical viewfinder versus the electronic viewfinder. And after day one or two, she was ready to throw the new one in the bin. She's like, I don't like it. I just don't like the look of it. I don't like the feel of it. I don't like how it looks. The buttons are all a bit different. And she kept sort of wanting to revert back to the optical one. And I tried to convince her, hey, just stick with it. Give it a go. Give it a few weeks. And we got towards the end of the workshop. I said, so how are you feeling about this new camera now? She goes, oh, a bit better. I said, maybe just give it a bit of time when you get home. And she went, what, 3 months? I went, maybe longer than 3 months. Maybe get it like 6 months. Give it a good chance. I said, it's a red hot camera. It's a great camera, but the mirrorless does have a different feel. You know, you've got that electronic viewfinder. You've got a bit more technology in there and stuff like that. But it's funny that the mirrorless ones are going well. And so they should. Like, they're all great cameras as well. You've got a little one there in your hand, haven't you?
Well, I was just while you were talking there about viewfinders, and I'm going to just give away a pro tip for free here. And, everyone who's got a camera with a viewfinder, pause the video now or pause the podcast.
Hang on. Let me go get mine.
Go and get it.
Oh, hang on. Jeez, okay.
So preferably digital with a viewfinder.
Okay. Yep. I've got my Leica EV1, which is the first of its kind. This is a bit of a wank off, but anyway. All right,
okay, that's a rangefinder though, right?
No, it's got an electronic viewfinder.
Okay. Does it have a diopter?
Yes, it does.
So I'm going to point this. So I'm holding an Olympus OM5 at the moment. Right there, right next. So that's my viewfinder. Right next to the viewfinder is a tiny little scroll wheel. Now that is called a diopter. Now some cameras will have it underneath there and it slides. Some cameras have it here and it rolls. Some are on the other side, but it's always somewhere around the viewfinder.
This one pops out.
There you go. It is remarkable how few people know that they have got one of those. And it's remarkable how long people put up with a blurry viewfinder because they either wear glasses and they take their glasses off because it's uncomfortable to have it up against their eye, or they've just never focused it. And that diopter will focus your viewfinder for your eyes. So it's basically like you're customizing your camera. So a lot of people hand me their cameras and they're like, oh, it's telling me that it's focused, but it's clearly not. And then I adjust the diopter and they're like, what did you do then? And it's like, wow, it's one of those moments where like, I was blind and now I can see. So everyone, you probably unpause the video by now, adjust your diopter. And all you have to do is just put your camera up to your eye, half press, it'll tell you that it's focused. If it's saying it's focused, it's focused. And if you can't see it clearly, adjust your diopter. And then you're good.
Yep. You're good. Yes, we've had that issue before in our workshops as well, where people haven't adjusted the diopter. And most diopters can go like +2 or +4, -4 with your glass thing. Yeah, I'm new to this glass world, so I don't know what that means. But yeah, mate, the one thing is make sure it's focused when you're changing diopter.
Correct. So focus it first.
Yeah.
So listen to the beeps, or if it's got the little thing that shows you that it's focused, make sure it's, even put your hand out in front of it and just make sure it focuses on your hand, whatever it is. And then adjust your diopter, and you'll be away. And it can clear up a lot of things. I actually have customers who have been getting headaches because they're looking through their eye and it's not focused properly. So their eye is trying to refocus something that'll never be in focus because the diopter's not set correctly. Yeah. So there you go. Pro tip.
Hey, I had an interesting conversation with good friend of the show, Cheryl, also sometimes a live audience today. She sent me a voice message saying, I've come up with an answer for you why back button focus works. And I went, bullshit, because it doesn't. We know the story behind that. But she was trying to do some macro stuff. And when they're doing stacking, sometimes she uses focus peaking and then just moves the camera and presses the button as she moves through. So instead of the camera doing the stacking, she's sort of doing the stacking manually, doing that. But she told me that, it works better with the back button focus off, because otherwise when she half presses it, it re-engages the autofocus every time that she does that. And she was trying to explain how that was why back button focus is good. I defunct it as normal, but it's a good tip for what you just did about the diopter and making sure everything's half pressed. If you use back button focus on your camera, make sure you use the back button focus button to focus that in, not that one if you've disabled that, because it won't work. Yes. There you go. 2 pro tips in 5 minutes. What's going on?
Mate, we just live to give on the Down South Photo Show. Fantastic. Shall we show a photo?
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm going to go first this week. Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
I don't know if I've shown this already. I might have. No, I don't think I have. So this was have I shown this before? I don't think I have.
No, maybe. I don't know.
I don't think I have. But this was a shot that I did, and I've just noticed a very glaring omission in it. But anyway, we'll see if you can pick that up. It was this just when I got my 180 to 600 lens, and it was its first voyage up to Lake Boga. It was back in January when we had the Aurora, and I got the lightning shot over the silos and all that sort of stuff. Same trip. And I was desperate to test this thing out. And my lovely mother-in-law, where she lives in Lake Boga, they have a nature strip in Lake Boga. I'm not kidding. It would have to be 20 meters wide, a nature strip that's that deep. From the road to the front fence, it's 20 meters. And they've got all these awesome gum trees, and these galahs hang out there at sunset and carry on, make all their noise. And then when the light gets good, they just sort of come and fly around and play around the grasses. There was some grass seeds and stuff there as well. And I was just testing out the new lens. I was actually trying to do a bit of tracking, and I was tracking the second galah in this photo.
Yes.
And you can see it's tracked it beautifully. And then old mate and the little cut across, and I actually quite like the composition. I like the way that the second galah is sharp and the one in front's almost photobombing it. and the ones in the distance are sort of doing their own thing, and it's created this cool sort of pattern of feathers and galahs going all over the shop. And by now, you've definitely spotted the emission.
I'm still trying to find the emission. Have you taken a head off or something?
Have a look hard bottom of that frame.
Yeah, what's the green thing?
I think it's a bottle cap on the ground or something. I've just noticed it.
I saw that. I'm like, that's a natural seed that the galahs dropped, mate.
Yeah, I think it might be a Sprite bottle cap by the looks of it.
I thought you might have taken one of the legs off or something like that, or
look how well I edit my photos.
I like the light under the wing though. That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool, isn't it? And of course, this is in the Mallee, so you get those awesome Mallee sunsets. And for some reason, golden hour in the Mallee seems to last for 2 hours. Like it's just it's so good up there.
They've got such big skies, don't they? It's so much time to reflect and keep going. Yeah, the tracking on the new cameras these days is phenomenal.
It is remarkable.
I'm
very, very impressed.
You've got to be equally impressed with the old film photographer guys who just had the one focal length, and they just nailed those shots, even though they had maybe manual focus or early days autofocus, and still were able to get some of those cracking shots. Here we are just pressing buttons, and it just does it all for us.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that you couldn't get this photo before autofocus, at least before autofocus. So,
well, you might have. It might have been a fluke though.
That's what I mean. Like you've lifted the strike rate 1,000-fold with modern cameras that can track like this. And as I say, to have another galah cut in front, but for it to stick with the original one that it locked onto, that's really impressive. I think that's really cool.
It asks the question, doesn't it? Like with all the technology, AI tracking, 60 frames a second, mirrorless cameras, electronic shutters, the whole thing. There should not be a reason to be a shit photographer these days. Really, like if you think about it, like you should be able to walk away with good images on a regular basis with the tools that we have at our disposal. We still don't know how to use them, but even on auto mode,
that's right. I would counter that by saying, with all of the latest technology in golf, why am I still a shit golfer? You know what I mean? You've still got to know. It's the arch and not the arrow, in my opinion. I get it. I get your point. And there's so much technology, but that in itself can be problematic. That becomes overwhelming for a lot of people. So
it does, yeah.
But interesting.
The analogy could be similar to I don't buy into that golf one. Sorry, that's okay. We're allowed to disagree. But it's like we've gone from shooting cannonballs to now laser pointed missiles. And that's like, we went back in the day, they have to shoot cannonballs and they have to line up and get the wind right and the distance and the angle. Now we just press a button, lock it on a subject, and away we go. Like I think things are a lot easier these days with the technology and photography. But on the flip side, like you said, a lot of people do struggle with that technology, and I think that may be where they get themselves let down a bit as well.
Yeah, but you've still got to know where to point it, and that that composition knowledge, the knowledge of how to compose images. This photo, this is a good example, because I didn't dream for a second I was going to get a shot like that. This is a happy consequence of me testing out a camera for its tracking capabilities. I didn't design that photo. That wasn't predetermined. That just happened.
But the camera's given you a good photo.
Absolutely. Yeah. And which is cool. And I think that's, as I say, a happy consequence of where we're at now with technology. I reckon I've got a few photos like that now, particularly with wildlife. That I wouldn't have dreamt that photo up in my head. It was because the technology delivered it. Be it the tracking, be it autofocus or other things that assist us these days in getting these shots. So yeah, it's definitely food for thought. Anyway, that's my photo of the week. I'm going to remove that. And I'm going to put yours up.
Can you claim that as your composition then?
I don't know. Can I?
Fuck do I know? I don't know. Here we are. Speaking of shots. Speaking of technology and speaking of F-ups. So this is down in the Tarkon. This is on our recent trip with the OzGeo gang that went down and did beautiful 5 days in the Tarkon region. This is down at a place called Sarah Ann Rocks. I love this little spot. There's a little area you can get down to and get some great compositions with this beautiful light coming through. But it's a complete screw up for mine. The foreground looks great. I think the composition's pretty good. The light on the rocks is good, but I completely blew the sky out. I had this shot, you're right up against the wall. You've got like a meter behind you to try and get a tripod. And it's really hard to sort of get a view on your camera when you're sort of sitting there. And I think I probably underexposed by a stop, and I probably should have done a couple of stops. And I'm really dirty on this one because I like it, but I tried to polish that sky, and I've just got this big banding bit going over it. And it just looks pox. So it's a good lesson to, another 2 seconds of taking my time to figure this out and just double check the histogram and make sure I was right, which is what I was teaching all the other guys there. And I completely screwed it. But it just goes to show that, a good photo can be ruined by a simple miscalculation of exposure, especially those highlights when you can't get them back. But great little spot. And I love getting back there. And the more I get back there, the more I want to go back there, as you would know as well. You've been there before. So yeah, great spot, and we had a great tour, and we got some great shots there. We had a really lovely sunset there, but just disappointed. I got that one back, and I when you take a photo and you go back home, you're like, oh, I can't wait to see that one. I think that was a good one. Well, this one was one of those. Oh, I can't wait to get back. I had the good foreground, had the light on the rocks. I'm like, excellent. I think I got a cracker here. Got back, put it straight on my computer, and went, oh, good. I've blown the sky out. And I thought, all right, I'll do what everyone else does, and I'll try to polish this turd as much as I can. And there's not enough glitter in the world to make that sky look anything.
Didn't happen for you.
It just didn't happen. I'm like, great. So lesson learnt. The thing it does my head in about these ones, and it's a little bit of kicking yourself and a little bit of FOMO as well, is like, am I ever going to get those conditions at that spot again? Because they were right. really lovely soft light. It was all working. Have I missed that chance to go back there again and get similar light? Who knows? So,
yep. That's right. And the tide, will it be the same again? And,
angle of the sun, whole thing.
Yeah, but I suppose you could look at the other way and say, well, I know the comp now. I know what I'm chasing. Maybe next time you're there, you'll have some really epic cloud in the sky that's going to prevent that blowout. So it could go the other way. So for the viewers at home, Cam, what should you have done in this case?
So with this one, I reckon I've shot this at like f16 ISO probably 100 on a tripod. I normally start at about one stop under exposing. I use aperture priority. So one stop under was doing enough to get the light on the rocks and all that highlights under control. So I want to make sure those highlights don't blow out. And obviously I need to bring those shadows up when I get into post. What I should have done was probably gone 2 stops under, so that sky was definitely under control, and then bring those shadows up a bit more to get that foreground back out. Another way I could have done it, which I don't like doing, would have been potentially to bracket, do 3 shots at different exposures. But I like to get everything in one shot. So that's my challenge every time I do it. So one shot wonder. But I just screwed the pooch on that one because I just didn't go 1 stop under. And I think, and at the time, I had some customers just around to the left here, and it's a little bit of a precarious place. So I was a little bit in the back of my head. I'm like, I'm waiting for one of them to fall in and kill themselves. So I'm listening out for them. I had Cheryl on the 2A radio. She was at the top on the right-hand side where you've been before as well with customers. So I was a little bit distracted and just trying to get a quick shot. But that quickness sort of screwed me up. So, yeah, make sure when you're taking shots that if you've got a really nice sunset or some lovely light in the sky, don't overdo it. Make sure you've got it under control with your exposure.
And I'm sure you tried a hard crop to basically just eliminate the rocks in the top and the sky altogether.
Yeah, I tried that and I just didn't like it because I really like that, because I guess I'm a bit of a shooter as well, that I remember a lot when I'm out in the field as to what it was like. And the light on the rocks in the background was just delicious, for lack of a better word. Yeah. And I'm like, I've really got this beautiful light coming across all this rocky foreground landscape, and all I needed was that sky. It wasn't going to be anything special. It was just going to be sort of a bit of a reddy, orangey sky, but yeah, completely cooked it. So it happens to the best of us. And I was kicking myself. And I had another shot. I went along. I did it twice. That's how stupid I am. I went and did it to another composition. and did exactly the same exposure because I went, oh, okay, light's not changing too much. Bang, same exposure. No, screw that one as well. So, it was a bit of a stuff up, really.
Yeah, and you're quite right. I mean, we've all been there. But I think it's really important, to just keep an eye on it in the field, and that's what you were trying to do, but you had your hands full. So, ideally you're there on your own and you can concentrate 100%. But you're totally right. Like the amount of times I haven't practiced what I preach, and it's like, oh, what are you doing? Like, hang on a minute, just let's have a look at this. Would you have? I mean, and I don't know that you do. I don't. Well, I don't, but maybe you do. Do you have the clipping the highlights little flashing red thing that happens? Or
so I took this on I took this on the Leica SL3, and I'm still trying to figure this camera out. It's a lovely camera. I like it. It's got some great files that come out when I don't screw them up. But when you scroll through the info on your screen and it shows you like, you can have all the information gone and just have the photo only, and then you can scroll to the information. Every now I'm really struggling to get that sequence of scrolling through the info button to get all the different things I want up in the same sequence. So it does have the flashy bits, but sometimes I press it and it's not there. Sometimes I press it and it is there. So it's just that cycle of info that I've got to get my head around. It's in the settings somehow. But I normally do have that there. And if I'd had that on, I would have definitely seen that flashing at me and gone, right, okay.
Been a red flag.
Well, it would have been, exactly. It would have been definitely there. And so it was just a stupid thing where I just didn't concentrate enough, and the rest is history, as they say. But normally I do have those clippers on and get them sorted out so I can say, right, okay, I've got those highlights a bit out of whack there and rescue them. But not on this one. So again, like I said, it's sort of a stupid effort, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but I think it's also cool, to recognize and we're always learning, and that's the thing. We always, you're never done learning this sort of stuff. So even as you say, even as it happens to the best of us, I've done this 100 times myself. So can I just show you how? Hang on a sec. I'll just see if it's going to load for me. It might not. I just want to show you how stupid AI is. Okay, this is what AI did to your photo. You ready?
All right. Okay.
There you go.
Funnily enough, that's almost what it looked like.
Yeah, but how the hell is the sun lighting the front of the rocks when it's behind the freaking rock?
Yeah, that's right.
Come on, AI, lift your game.
What you don't know about that location, on the left-hand side, there's a massive mirror.
I was going to say,
yeah. Move that sun out of the frame to the left, and that's sort of what I was getting.
Really?
So,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well,
sorry.
So I'm going to get that filth off our screen there. That's better. But
that's why I was a little bit dirty, and I'm like, oh, I've totally mucked that one up. And I'll share the other one. I'll put up there as well. You can show people once it loads up. Eventually, it'll come in there. Different composition, but same problem with the sky as well. Right. The rocks in the foreground were those beautiful sort of blue emerald colored, bluey sort of greeny colored rocks that have been spinning in that little hole for millennia, and all look all lovely. And I I think I was more worried about how much detail I could get out of the shadows, and just totally forgot about the sky. So but again, like I said, I'll get back there.
If only you had a camera with built-in ND grads.
Yeah, if only. Well, I do actually.
I know.
Yeah. But you know what? For all its positives, that Olympus OM1 Mark II, the graduated neutral densities are shit. They don't work very well.
Right.
The neutral densities, the neutral densities I love. They're really good, but the graduated, no, they've still got to improve that a bit. It's really hard to do and really hard to get it sorted out, and does a bit of a whack job on it. So.
Do you reckon it would have helped you with that shot?
Maybe. Yeah. If anything, having a proper grad filter like a one in front would have helped.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. What I should have done now, thinking it just live now, what I should have done is probably waited, which I couldn't. But after the sun went down, we got some incredible purple sky right behind those rocks. I should have been down there after the sun had gone. And then the dynamic range would have been a bit closer,
but at the expense of that lovely light on the rocks. So
yeah, and probably the customers wanting to get dinner.
and freezing to death.
Freezing to death. Actually, we had really mild weather. It's been, today's been rainy down here, but we had some really good weather up here.
It's been absolutely remarkable in southern Australia. How long the warm weather has lingered. But I reckon I'm about to bring that to an end because I'm heading off down the Great Ocean Road tomorrow with 4 people. So I reckon that's that. It's probably going to snow.
Yeah. Well, don't laugh. So you got a 4-day workshop, is that right?
Yeah. For 5 days. So 4 nights. So Apollo Bay, based in Apollo Bay. It's the same workshop that you and I have done a couple of times, but I'm just doing it on my own. Well, when I say the same, there'll be a couple of slight changes because the people can we just talk to government and get them to sort their, out. The Cape Otway Lighthouse has been handed over to government to be, and it's just become almost impossible to communicate with them. Anyway, sorry, I digress. But it's that part will be interesting to see if that plays out. But
you can just jump the fence. That's what everyone else does.
You probably could, but we wouldn't do such a thing, Cameron, on our workshops and tours. We buy the book.
Definitely buy the book.
Definitely buy the book. Heading off tomorrow, back Friday. So somewhere along the line, this will get uploaded, I guess.
Right. You might have to do it straight after we do it.
Possibly. We'll see. People will know when this came out, when it comes out.
You keep saying that. You make it like some sort of mystery. It's not.
Hey,
big shout out to
Lucky Straps.
Yeah. I did an interview with them, so they give you a free hoodie.
Oh, really? Nice.
I wore it the other day. It's like a bony colored one, as you can see. I wore it the other day, and the first thing I did was put my arm on a table and had sauce all the way down straight away. Like, for Christ's sake, if it was black, I would have got away with it, but nope.
It does take a special kind of confidence to wear anything white when you are approaching 50.
Thank you for reminding me. Am I approaching 50?
Well, you are.
Some of us are past 50, aren't we?
Yeah, the view's nice from over this side too. Don't worry.
I'm sure it is.
Should we do a couple of rundown topics?
Oh yeah, let's have it. Well, I thought we had, but anyway, let's keep chatting.
We probably have, but
that's right.
So Cam and I were talking during the week about the workshops we run, and we're talking about the types of customers that we get, and we're also always, of course, like all businesses, looking to attract a bit of growth and new customers and all that sort of stuff. And I raised a question with Cam insofar as, do we market enough to beginners, to people that who may, and hopefully there are people listening to me right now that are beginners and have stumbled across the Down South Photo Show, have got into photography recently and want to learn more about the caper. Because what we're finding is on a lot of our workshops, the joint ones that Cam and I do, and I'm speaking for you, Cam, so step in whenever you want, but I'm assuming a lot of the ones you run as well, the majority of your customers are not beginners. They are enthusiasts. They are maybe in their 4th or 5th year of, being into photography. So they've got a fairly good grasp on it. And I was questioning whether or not that is excluding people that might want to come and join a workshop, because I've always marketed my workshops as you could have got your camera yesterday. Come along. We'll help you out. We'll get you up and running. But I'm just wondering if there's an intimidation factor there for people who've just got into photography, whether they're worried that they'll be left behind. What are your thoughts on that, Cam?
I think there is, and people have sort of mentioned to me. I get a few emails saying, what level can I be? And I'm usually the same. Like we're sort of welcoming to any sort of level. It's nice if people have a bit of an idea about how their camera turns on and works and set up a tripod and all that kind of stuff. But yes, I think some people do feel a bit intimidated that I really want to go learn this photography caper, as you say, but I don't want to be holding the group up, or I don't want to be that one asking the dumb questions, or they think they're dumb questions. They're probably relatively normal questions that we get. So maybe they think, I've got to go do a bit more of my own stuff and go down that solo track a bit more and learn a bit more that way, as opposed to maybe jumping on and learning from a couple of professionals. So yeah, I think it's definitely a thing. But like you said, like we don't like with my workshops, we sort of, if anything, our workshops are more based around more so people's fitness levels and endurance in a way. Like we want people who can sort of, walk a couple of K a day and they're okay to sort of walk up a few stairs to go all these places we want to go. Whether or not you've just grabbed your camera out of the box from the camera shop or whether or not you've been shooting for 30 years, that's not a huge issue for us. And both you and I think, are pretty good at our craft where we can adjust our teaching to all the different levels we may have on there. And sometimes it's good to have some people on there who are quite experienced, because you can generally say, hey, we're at this waterfall, we're here for an hour, and they go, cool, I'll be back. And off they go and they do their thing, where that then frees us up to help, the people that may be beginning or have less experience on a photography workshop. So yeah, like there's no real level that we don't want. But I reckon just a caveat on that in case we start getting some people. But if there is someone who's just literally bought a camera, haven't taken it out of the box and not come on a workshop and, want to set it all up and get all set up on that first day, that's sort of not what we would indicate. We'd probably maybe talk to you before the trip and get you set up. But we want people to sort of be up and running and ready to go with their camera set up and at least know how to turn it on, set up a tripod, focus, know a few of the buttons, maybe have looked at the menu a few times and stuff like that, and then the rest we can assist with. But yeah,
that's right. And people that are in that boat, I mean, there are plenty of people around. I'm one of them that run entry-level workshops. I do them in my shop here in Ocean Grove, where still my most popular workshop by a country mile. Like, I'm getting regular people coming into those. What I love as well is there's a level of enthusiasm that comes from beginners, and I really like that. People that are they're probably not as much a beginner as you think, in terms of everyone's got a camera in their phone, so everyone takes photos, and I think we've probably got phone photography to thank a little bit for keeping people interested in photography, because people are still taking photos with their phones. I get a lot in the shop where people come in and they've got amazing photos on their phones because they've been visiting great places. First and foremost, but they've captured amazing sunsets and things like that. But they can see that there's parts of the image that aren't quite right, that sort of the phone hasn't had the capability of capturing the scene to its full potential in terms of what an SLR could do, for example. By that I mean dynamic range is the big one, where, as we were just talking about, losing detail in highlights and shadows and that sort of stuff. And then the conversation starts. Well, how can I get around that? And then it's like, well, let's talk cameras. And it's like, wow, full circle. I used to shoot film on a camera, and then I went to a phone. Now I'm going to go back to a camera again. I love that sort of stuff. But to your point as well, you're quite right. We don't literally want someone to turn up with a Canon in a box and they haven't opened it yet. Ideally you've got, as Cam said, how to change a lens, for example. That's a big one. And where the memory card goes, how to power the battery and all that sort of stuff. But that's pretty rudimentary stuff that you can cotton onto within a week or so. But personally, I would hate to think that there are people out there, people that watch us or follow us on socials and that sort of stuff, that think that they don't belong on one of our tours or workshops. You all do. So as I say, it'd be great if we got some feedback from people who are interested, like-minded people. And the other thing I was going to say as well was, you said it's handy when we've got experienced people on the show, on trips, because sometimes they help out the beginners, which is so cool to see that when that happens. But on the other side of the coin as well, I remember this has happened a few times to both of us. I remember this, where we'll be explaining something to someone who doesn't understand. So they're a beginner and they want the knowledge. And then someone who's been over here taking photos for 15 years goes, what? I didn't know that. So that happens as well, where, where people, it's basically like it's a refresher course as well. If they're listening in on me running a beginner's workshop, it's like, oh, wow, that's right. Yeah, I forgot that I have to do that.
I think the gap between beginner and not beginner, or beginner and intermediate, is not as wide as what people would think. And I still learn stuff. I learn stuff off customers sometimes. People go, oh, did you know you could do it? I'm like, no, had no idea you could do it. Or I shoot it this way. I'm like, oh, okay, I've never seen people do that before. And away you go. So, yeah, that's right. We don't want to cut out people. And I'm sure there would be a few people that watch the show and listen that are a little bit in the beginner camp. I know at BFOP, the Bright Festival of Photography has quite a lot of newbies that come along to that as well. And if you are one of those people, feel free to approach us, on the BFOP if you see us and ask us some questions, but don't feel like you can't join in on any of the conversations or the workshops at BFOP as well, because you think you're a beginner and not worthy of sort of being in that sort of that workshop. You are, and we've all got to start somewhere. We've all been a beginner, and you don't get any better unless you keep practicing and learning off others. So
I have never once at BFOP or any place where a workshop's running and I happen to be there, I've never ever once seen someone come up to an instructor, ask them a question, and that instructor do an eye roll. It just doesn't work like that. It's like, cool, I can show you that. Like
we normally turn the other way.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and do an eye roll of it. We are generally quite excited to show to impart our knowledge on you, and we want that because that's cool. Like it's a gift to be able to help people out with photography because we both love it so much. We want them to be just as excited about it as we are. So when someone comes up to me and says, "Hey, can you show me how to adjust my diopter?" Happy days. I'm all over it. So
the other thing,
we love the questions. We kind of feed off it, right?
We do, and it strokes our ego a little bit. Like I like being able to say I know something that someone else doesn't know. The other thing as well is I think a lot of beginners might also look at workshops and go, "Oh, $2,000 or $3,000 for a week away, or whatever it might be." Like that's a bit like, do I want to spend that money on that? I would say, and you've said it from the start, if you had money in photography, buy more experiences as opposed to gear. If you're looking at doing workshops, most likely you've already got the gear or gear that's worthy of coming along. So you can do what a lot of people do. And in my experience, after running hundreds of workshops, is so many people get to a point where like, you know what, I've been down every rabbit hole on YouTube. I've been engaged with every old bloke at a camera club who thinks he knows everything. I've listened to podcasts and shows like you guys, and I'm not getting any better. When they come on a workshop where it's hands-on, it doesn't have to be our workshops, any workshop. When it's hands-on, where they're out in the field and getting that one-on-one instruction of setting it up and getting that real life and real-time response, you learn at a greater rapid rate than what you do shopping around on YouTube for ideas that make you think you're going to learn how to do photography. So yes, it's an investment it is an investment in your photography, but I think it's an investment, and I'm not just saying this because that's what we do, but in my experience, what I've seen, the investment pays quicker dividends and better dividends than if you sit on there and watch YouTube clips and go to camera clubs and all that kind of stuff. So keep that in mind as well. You can always try one workshop out and put a bit of money towards it. If it's not something you like or you didn't get anything out of it, then as much as a shame that might be, then at least you've sort of tested those waters as well. I think you mentioned Shazbang as an incredible example of someone who started, they were sort of in that beginner realm, intermediate realm when we first met her. She's done a handful of workshops with us, and her images have gone from zero to hero in a couple of years. So for her, I know personally, she's told me as well that, the workshops that she does with us and myself are really opening her eyes up to what photography can be for her, and her results are getting better and better and better. She sees a body of water. She takes her shoes off and gets into it to get that shot. Like she's invested into it now. So she's invested quite a bit of money into the workshops, but what she's getting out of it is also, worthy of what she's putting into it. So hopefully people will, after this episode, might think more about, maybe looking out there as to what people are running, what workshops in their region, and maybe sign up for one and give it a go.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those areas, one of those genres, one of those hobbies that workshops really benefit you. It's like anything, I guess. Like I'm sure there's like people who paint, there's painting workshops. I know there's pottery workshops. There's all that sort of stuff going on. But I think golf to your point where, sorry?
Golf lessons.
Oh yeah, crucial.
Yeah.
All the lessons in the world. To your point where, watching YouTube clips is fine. The problem with them is you're normally lying in bed or sitting on the can watching it rather than actually being in the field and putting it into practice immediately and getting that instant feedback and instant gratification. So, that's where the workshops certainly come into their own from that point of view for sure. Yeah,
indeed. Having said that, if you'd like to join us on the Tarkon to Cradle workshop, we still have some spots available for August.
Yes.
Oh, look at you've even got a fast key up there. That's pretty clear.
Well,
Jump on the DS. Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I was going to say, jump on the dsps.com.au. Check it out. Again, speaking of investment, there is an investment to come along with that. It is 5-6 days down here in Tassie. We do 3 days in the Tarkine, which has that scene, which maybe I'll go back and fix for my stuff up before. I'll take you down there if you want, if you're coming along. Up to Cradle Mountain, where we might have snow, we might have auroras and things like that. All your accommodations checked in, all your transfers are checked in, all your food's checked in, all your tuition's checked in, all your national parks are checked in, passes, you get everything. So it's a pretty good value for money. But we do have a few spots, and we are probably going to close that workshop off at the end of this month. So what's that, another couple of weeks, week and a half?
Couple of weeks.
So yeah, check that out if you are keen to come to Tassie.
Yes, head over to dsps.com.au. Get on board. I think I say this most years. I love that workshop because of its diversity. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Like that, you're at sea level, and then you're in snow, and then you see a wombat, and then you see Serian rocks. You go to Sumac Lookout. Get out of town.
Well, guess what? We went there again the other day.
Yes, and
the lady had the new Canon. It's quite a funny moment, actually. I'm going to dob you in, Susan. Sorry, don't unsubscribe. So we're standing there, we're waiting and waiting. There was a little bit of fog in the valley like normal. We're like, oh, it's going to happen. Maybe it's going to happen. We just need to hold off. Just hold off a bit. We had our long lenses out, our telephotos, the whole thing. We're just waiting for it to happen. And in the back of my head, I'm like, if that sun breaks through, it's on like Donkey Kong here. And every now and then it was just showing a little slit of glimpse to get through the clouds. And all of a sudden, the photo I've just put up there, all of a sudden that happens. And I'm like, oh my God. And I turn around and Susan's packing up her gear. She goes, oh, I thought it was done. I thought we were going for breakfast. I sort of had a bit of enough. I'm like, put your freaking lens back on, turn around, take a photo. So we all got that photo. She not, I don't know if she misheard me. I don't know. Maybe I said something that maybe indicated we're packing up. I don't know. But I turned around and like she had that little seat that's there. She had a complete back to the scene packing up. I think she even said no one's had a go at me like that in photography for a long time. I just didn't want her to miss that moment. Like turn around, take the shot. So Sumac Lookout. If you come on our Tarkine Cradle workshop, we'll guarantee we'll go to this location.
We'll definitely go there.
Yeah, we may not get exactly this, but on 9 times out of 10, we do get a bit of a scene like this in the morning. But another cracker morning there at Sumac Lookout.
One of my top 5 photos from 2025 I took there. Love it. Such a good spot.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, nicely done.
But what I have noticed, Brendan, I'm going to segue into the next one, is that every time I come home from a trip, I'm uploading photos and I'm doing all that kind of stuff. I am not culling as many photos as I need to. And I've got way too many photos in my catalog on Lightroom. Like my Lightroom catalog is currently at 250,000 photos. And that is just what I've put on there. That's not necessarily every memory card I've ever used. There's a lot of other stuff saved on hard drives and things like that. Do you cull heavily? Like I'm an absolute spaz when it comes to culling. I just import everything, back everything up. I don't go and cull much. And now I'm getting to the point where like, geez, I've got like 15 years of culling and I haven't done any.
Yeah. And that's the problem, isn't it? It's like compounding interest. It just keeps coming. And it's
totally. It totally is. And now I'm just sitting there going, God, I'm trying to do a new website for this little Pencil Pine Studios. And I'm trying to like a bit of a gifty-ware-y sort of thing that I'm trying to, if anyone wants to check it out, pencilpine.com.au, or is it just .au? No, it's just pencilpine.au. I've taken the comment. And I'm trying to find images from spring, like springtime. So I've gone to, sort my images, and I went and sorted by September to November type of thing. 85,000 photos pop up. I'm like, God, how can I cull? And I'm like, righty, okay, I'll go by camera. I'm like, okay, I know I got some good ones on that old Fuji I had, so sort by Fuji. There's 6,500 photos. I'm like, the hell am I doing? Why did I not just cull these down when I had it? So I'm going to change my approach and just trim the fat off some of these shots. Yep. I know there's have you seen the AI culling on Lightroom now where it goes through and picks up eyes that aren't sharp, focus that's not sharp, and it just goes and puts a star next to them? Have you seen that?
Do you want that? Yeah, me neither. I've always had this system, and it seems to have worked relatively well. So far as it works for me until I get lazy, and then I end up where you are. But what's true? That's what it is. Like you just, it can get so like life gets in the way, right? And you know they're there. It's a job that you put on the back burner, and then tomorrow never comes. So what I do, I'm kind of in the habit of it now, and I'm okay at it these days. So, you know, I'll come back from the Great Ocean Road. I'll make a folder, Great Ocean Road, May 26. Everything goes in there. Then I go through and I create another folder, and that folder is called Keepers.
Yes.
And I literally just drag Keepers across. I'm like, yep, I want to look at that. I want to look at that. And these are the ones that I'm going to edit. These are the ones I'm going to get a closer look at. All the rest are still there, but rarely get looked at. They're the ones that they're the real rainy day stuff where I'll just go back through a folder from Utah, for example, and I'll go, oh, actually, I remember that photo because I'll think of it. I'll go, oh, was that that place, that canyon? And well, how come that's not in my Keepers? And then I'll go look, oh, that's why it's not in my Keepers. It's crap. So,
it's got chemistry.
That's right. So it's a simple, it's as simplistic as I can make it because I do it when it's simple. Don't overcomplicate it. I quite enjoy it, but I always do it on a big screen. So I come into the office here and I use this 32-inch monitor just to make sure that I can, you know, have a good look at it. And laptops and iPads and that sort of stuff are cool. But I find detail gets missed a little bit, and I'd much rather just do it a bit more slowly, give myself an hour just to have at least to create that Keepers folder and go from there. So that's the system I use, and it's to this point it's worked okay, I guess.
Yeah, look, I think one of the problems I'm having is because I'm on the road a lot is that I want to go and get some photos out there from the trip that I've just done. So there'll be, you know, this is my main computer, 250,000 images. My laptop has also got 100-odd thousand images on there that I haven't transferred over. So I think I'm sort of like, okay, I've got to get some photos out there and sort of put it out there. But maybe what I need to do is just really wait till I get back to home base and, like I said, put in a system that just comes into this system only.
Which has its own issues, and it's the rhythm of the workshop, right? So you know how it works. Like you get up for sunrise, you're on the go for the majority of the day. There's rarely downtime in the middle of the day, particularly in winter when the days are shorter. You get sunset at 5:30. You're out for dinner. You're talking photography with people or just chatting in general. It's 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. All right, everyone, go back to your room. You're knackered. You're knackered. And the last thing you want to do is edit photos, but you know you got to feed the beast, right? You've got to, all right, these are the photos we did today. This is how this workshop worked. Here's the promotion for, here's the link to the workshop we're running next year. Like, and that cycle is probably a little detrimental, but I notice when I've done workshops with you, you're really good at it. You'll sit down and you'll be editing, like you and I have done it where we're at Kangaroo Island for the scouting trip, for example. We had the footy on, we're having a couple of beers, and you're there editing. Now I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that because I'd stuff it up. I feel like I'd rush it. And just to get a basic edit out, so I struggle with that. And I've tried to do that in the past, and I've just gone, you know what? I think I need to not do that. Maybe one or two images, but when you look and you go, oh wow, I got a dozen incredible images today. I want to post all these, and I get that, and I love the excitement around it, but it gets too hard. As I say, you're feeding the beast, and that's hard. The beast stays hungry, and you get tired.
Well, this is the thing that Cheryl and I were actually talking about the other day. So we literally did Daintree, day off, New Zealand, 2 days off, Cradle Mountain, 2 days off, Tarkine, 2 weeks off. And we had a chat about it halfway through that we really need to manage fatigue as well. Yes. So that's, and speaking of running businesses, like we have all these risk assessments and all these other things. Fatigue assessment is what we're now doing as well. So like one of the workshops, we had dinner and both of us were in bed by like 8:30. So, all right, see you in the morning, bang, see you later. I'm off to bed, see you later. because we actually said, don't worry about editing. Let's not worrying about the next day, what we're doing. We know what we're doing. Let's just get some sleep on, even if it's a couple of hours more than we normally do, because it's a bit like anything. Like you get on the computer, you're like, oh, we're finished. That was a great day. I had dinner, had a beer. When I got back to the room, whatever, start editing. Oh shit, it's 11:30. I got to be up in 6 hours, and you're done. So we've had a good chat about that we need to manage our fatigue a bit more, better for that. And I think, going forward, I think I get sucked in as well, because my editing process is pretty quick for each image. It's only a couple of minutes. So I know I can sort of go through and do it fairly quick and get some nice shots out there. But I think that's also detrimental, because I'm like, it's only going to take 5 minutes to do a couple of photos. But then it's like your computer slows down, or then you have a chat with Cheryl or someone else about something for 10 minutes, and then, I ring home and say good day to the wife and kids for half an hour, and then do a podcast with you on the road. Like by the time you get there, you just run out of time. So I think culling images and how I do that, and I'd be interested to see how people's little process is when they travel, whether or not they do it straight away, or they get back to the hotel room excited about a shot they get, or do they just wait to get everything home and then allocate a day or two after they get back once they've had a bit of a rest and stuff like that. So let us know in the comments what your best is.
I must say, when we did East Coast Tassie back in March, you and I, that was the best we've managed a tour. And I know that our clients would agree with us insofar as we deliberately installed at least a 2-hour break during each day. And I think we've been guilty in the past of feeling like we have to cram it in, like we have to be taking photos all the time. I think the opposite is true. I think you need to just hang on, think about this. We're doing 14-hour days because we're bookending sunrise to sunset, and then editing and whining and dining and all that sort of stuff. So you've got to on purpose just, okay, stop. Now I'm not a napper. I don't know if you are. I cannot take a nap during the day. It's just never going to happen for me.
I can. Yep.
Yeah, I know you can. But when I'm, I reckon I'll be 70 before that starts to happen for me.
So
I just can't. I don't know. My brain just doesn't work like that. So, but I did find when we had those couple of hours, I might literally just put the telly on, or watch a movie or something away from photography. But there was actually a couple of times where I just went for a walk on my own with my camera, and I didn't mind that. That was kind of cool. Just to righto, little reset. We're just I'm not having to communicate. I'm not having to educate. It's fine. Yeah. That worked really well, and I think, as I say, that's definitely this week coming on the Great Ocean Road, that there will be a lot of that for me. And I think also having giving people their freedom as well, and not pushing it down their necks the whole time. I think that's really, people like that. It's like, okay, this is where we are. Go off and take some photos. Let's talk about them when you're done. Yeah.
And the other thing you notice is things that you didn't notice, like that time we drove past the Caltex petrol station that we never knew it was there.
There's no way that must have been built overnight. I still can't believe
it was not there the first day or the second day, but then all of a sudden it was there.
How could we not have seen that, Cameron? Maybe
we are getting old. I don't know. Is that a Die Hard shirt? Nagasaki's Tower shirt?
Oh, I've just turned myself off. Nakatomi Plaza.
It is, isn't it? How did I notice that logo just from the top of it? There you go. That's weird.
I actually only wear this normally at Christmas time, but there you go. It fell its way into my rotation. Yeah, I love it. Best
we're doing shout-outs? Shout-outs?
Yes, we are.
So you've already done your shout-out.
I'm going to do it again. Maya was fantastic. Great. I've got a feeling Maya and I are going to cross paths a few more times. I think she's looking for a bit of mentorship, which I really enjoy with young kids. And she's super keen. Like, she's keen as mustard to learn more about photography, which is great. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if we found Maya on one of our workshops at some point down the track. So shout out to her. I know she's
take under 18ers.
I do have a working with children's check, so
do I. So that means
she's going to be 18 pretty soon, I think. So whatever. But I don't know.
What kind of camera does Maya use?
So Maya has currently got a bridge camera. So it's the Lumix FZ300, which is actually a pretty cool little camera. It's got its shortcomings though, insofar as it's not interchangeable lenses. It's got its own, it's one lens. But it's 28 to 600 f2.8
all the way through.
all the way through.
No.
Yes, it is.
What is it? 28 to 600. Can't be all the way through.
And the aperture is capped. No, because the sensor's this big.
What Lumix is it? Lumix what?
Lumix FZ300, maybe 3,300. And the thing that the big bugbear of it for me was that its aperture is capped at f8. So I couldn't work out why the aperture was capped at f8, but it is.
Wow. 2.8 all the way through. Well, 2.8 to 8, really.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's 2.8 to 8, but but capped at 8. Because so we were shooting landscape and I wanted f11. Nope, you can't have it. But what?
Cannot use. Oh, have a look at that. I've just looked at the Panasonic page for it, and it's got a picture of a kingfisher coming out of the water with a little fish in its mouth. Captured on that camera. Hang on a second.
Might have been. I don't know. I got to use it today, and I was pretty impressed with. I mean, it's an old camera. Like, it's been around. Well, it's not that old.
It's got splash dust proof. It's got cool.
It's pretty cool. It is a pretty cool little unit, but it's limiting in terms of focal range, and like you can't go wider than 28. And capped at f8. I don't get it.
It's actually 25 to 600.
What did I say?
28. But that's okay.
There you go. It's even wider. That's pretty good.
Yeah. 2.8. That's incredible.
It is. It's remarkable. But the sensor's like what you find in your phone. So it's a small sensor. So, but those shortcomings aside, it's a good bridge camera for someone to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Maya's going to start studying photography in September. She's doing a 1 year course, I guess it is. It's somewhere in Melbourne. I think to do with fashion.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think what will happen when she gets there is they'll want an SLR in her hands. So we'll talk about that sort of stuff as we get there. But Maya, shout out. Now you got some shout outs to do as well.
Oh yeah, I was just going to shout out to our little Osgeo travel group. This is our first workshop of the year we're doing with them. We've got Flinders Island. We're going a week from today. We'll be on Flinders Island doing another workshop, and then we've got two Flinders Islands bookending the Kangaroo Island workshop we're doing, and then maybe another Flinders Island one later in the year. But shout out to Eva, Susan, Catherine, and Anne. We had 4 people. Originally had 5. We had another lady that pulled out very late. Great group. Really got on well. Had a lot of fun. A lot of laughs, took some great photos, all had Canons, I think, apart from Eva. Eva had her phone, but it was good fun. So I just wanted to shout out to them, and hopefully see them again on a workshop somewhere. But we had a good time in Natarko. It was good.
Question without notice: when you have a client with just a phone,
yes,
is it harder? Is it easier? How does that play?
I think it depends on the client too. Like some people, we had a lady in Scotland who had a phone only, who didn't really need too much help. It was more just composition. What do you think of this composition and things like that? But she was happy. She was pretty proficient with it, so she was pretty happy just to sort of happy snap her way through. Not Scotland, sorry, Japan. But with Eva had the iPhone. She wanted to learn a bit more about composition. We spoke about using the live view to get the slow waterfall sort of effect happening. We spoke about how she can lock in the exposure and play the exposure up and down. So we taught her a few more tricks of the iPhone. I don't think they're any different. I think they're probably pretty easy to manage because there's no interchangeable lenses to muck around with. There's no, one thing you notice with people who shoot phones is they're not swearing and cursing about their gear, putting up their tripod, picking up their backpack. All that kind of stuff. Another funny little side story of our trip, Susan had one of the Nissi filters, the circular polarizers that you screw on the front. And we got back from Sarah Ann Rocks, and she's like, "Oh, I've lost this filter." I'm like halfway back home. I'm like, "Oh," I said, "I won't be going back out there for a little while, but you never know. Someone might find it. But not many people go there." She goes, "That's okay. Look, I'll have to buy another one. My bad, whatever." The very next day, shout out to Nature by Nathan. Nathan's a guy from WA who's now living in Tassie. Sends me a message saying, "Hey, mate, any of your clients lose anything at Sarah Ann Rocks yesterday?" I went, well, actually, yes, someone lost a Nissi filter. And he goes, this one? And he sent me a picture and he found it. So they've got in touch, hopefully, and they've got it all sorted out. So
what are the odds?
What are the odds? I know. We actually ran into him at Cradle Mountain on our macro workshops, and he said he was going out there. I said, oh, you got to go check out Sarah Ann Rocks. It's really, really quite good. And he's obviously gone out there and almost scored himself a Nissi filter, but he's a good, honest bloke. So g'day to Nathan, Nature by Nathan. If you're looking him up online, he's got some incredible stuff from all around Australia. So, yeah, it was a good news story. But, yeah, it was a good group. iPhones are fine. Like I said, people.
So can I just elaborate a bit more on that? Do you ever encourage people to put, for example, the Camera Plus app on a phone so that they've got manual control?
Not usually, no. Normally, the people that, well, in my experience, the people that have come on with iPhones don't really have an interest in doing too much of that. They're just happy to use it as a point and shoot, but get the most out of the point and shoot settings they can.
Yep.
Actually, Eva told me something really pretty cool that she'd learned, and we went and saw the big tree, which is a 60-meter tree, and she did a vertical panorama of the tree all the way up over to the top, and it looked amazing. And I'm like, that's a great. So actually, speaking of learning of customers, I went, I'm going to do that. So I did a panorama of this big giant tree up into the canopy. So, but in my experience, the guys that we've had with phones on the trips are just happy to sort of happy snap, and it does seem to be more about composition and just getting good looking shots without doing too much.
So more about composition with the phone, because that's really all they're interested in wanting to learn, I guess.
I guess so, yeah. They don't really want to learn about too much, exposures and shutter speeds and apertures. Like I said, we normally teach them the little magic tricks the phone do, like I said, the long exposure and things like that. Portrait mode, where it gives you like that sort of soft background. Panoramas, if they want to do panoramas. But I've never had a customer with a phone say, hey, I've got this phone. I want to go as deep into controlling this as much as I can. What can I do? Where we would sort of install those extra apps and things like that. So,
yeah. I was just actually looking, because that photo, if you can see that, that was my first vertical panorama. I learned, I read about it I was on the train going there, and I was like, I'm going to do that at some point. And I went, I know a subject that'll be good for that.
Yeah. Well, here's the tree that we did, if you can see that.
Yeah, cool. It is good fun doing that sort of stuff. I reckon back in the early days when panorama became a thing on a lot of compact cameras, so Lumixes had it, I started dabbling with vertical panos on that, and then I was like, doy, you can do it on your phone. So,
yeah, that's right. Why make it hard?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool.
Nice, awesome. Okay, you've got you're off for Cam. How's your time off going? What are you doing with yourself?
I'm cleaning this shithole up behind me, because Jamie, wherever you are, has to come and finish his job. So not much. I'm just got a week off. Autumn's off to a camp tomorrow, so we've been getting some stuff ready for camp. Been at Anaconda and done a bit of shopping and things like that. But yeah, not much. Spending time with the kids, catching up with Lisa, obviously doing some family stuff. Went and saw the kids play sport yesterday, which is good. I can't help myself though. I'm a bit of a competitive monster when it comes to sport, as you've probably seen firsthand on the indoor cricket pitch. But I'm not watching this netball yesterday, and I'm like, oh, come on. Like, the center's just killing you. Get on man up on the center. What are you doing? So I had to curve that back and just dial it down a bit. I'm not one of these, just to let people know, I'm not one of these idiot parents yelling out and swearing. It's all internalized, but
yes.
I love sport, and I love to see kids doing well at sport, and good luck. Well done to all the coaches who give up their time and volunteer. Been there, done that. And but yeah, I just couldn't help myself yesterday. I was just like, oh, for Christ's sake, just man up on the center. She's linking up everything. All the goals are coming through her. Just take her out if you have to. Just man up on her. So
let's work this out.
Yeah, let's work it out. So even Lisa's like, why don't you go aran and tell the coach? I'm like, no, I'm not being one of those parents.
No. That's the worst thing you can do.
Isn't it? And then Jamison was playing basketball, and he's quite quick on the court. I'm like, remember what we spoke about a few months ago, where you can run up behind a person and just steal the ball out. And he goes, oh, but Dad, I'm like, just give it a go after this half. He went first play, went up, stole the ball out. I think took a dribble up, passed it off. They got a goal. I'm like, there you go. So he was pretty happy with it. So, but yeah, it was good to catch up with it all.
Cameron, the coach, Coach Cam.
Well, maybe. I have coached kids cricket to a premiership, and I have captained a cricket team to premiership. So,
Wow.
who knows?
Mr.
Having
Williams.
said that, though, I did also knock out a girl playing netball once, to mixed netball. So it wasn't my fault. She fell over me. Anyway, what are you doing? You're off to the Great Ocean Road, aren't you?
You're very lucky that no one listens this far.
No one ever listens to it. I don't even know why we do it. We've been going for this is a long episode. It's good.
An hour and 13 minutes. It's a bumper issue. Great Ocean Road tomorrow. So getting my act together for that.
So when this comes out, you'll be back from the Great Ocean Road.
Yeah, I intended for this to go out on the Friday night of next week, so to get some kind of continuity for this show for once in our lives, and then I'm straight into I've got a Ballerine Peninsula 4-day tour that starts on Sunday, but that's a one-on-one, so I've got one customer for 4 days, which something new for me, something a bit different. I'm quite excited by that. I think that's going to be pretty cool. So I get to sort of. I don't know how I'm going to pad that out.
Do you know this customer, or is it a brand newie?
Not newie. This is a gentleman from Melbourne who wanted to come on the Ballerine one a couple of months ago and had a few health issues, which is something else we deal with from time to time, Cam. And then I just mentioned, I said, look, I'm happy to do this as a one-on-one, a couple of extra bucks, of course, and he was cool with that. So we made that happen. So that's going to happen, and then I'm going to Yarrawonga to play some golf.
Oh, some golf.
In a couple of weeks' time.
So, I might play golf this week. I've got nothing to do. Maybe I'll go have a whack Thursday when I'm home alone. Maybe I'll go have a game of whack.
So I had my first competitive round. We're going to put this in the podcast. We're not offline. We're going to still put this in the podcast. I had my first competitive round Friday at Curlewis. You'd be familiar with the Curlewis golf course here locally.
Yeah.
And
triple figures.
Could not believe that I shot 31 points. I was so happy with myself.
Wow.
The layoff did me well. I'm wrapped with 31. It's not often you have 31 points and you're happy. I'm ecstatic.
Right. There you go.
So and a lot of people don't know what we're talking about, but anyway,
let's explain. So the game is Stableford, and each hole you get.
Yeah, that's right. It was a solid round. So I'm trying to play more golf. I think it's good for up here, and I think it's for the fitness as well. So yep.
Did I tell you about I played golf in New Zealand? I told you about that game, didn't I?
Yes, you did. It was blowing force and gale.
Was it not? Jesus. Oh, that's right. I messaged you, didn't I? I sent you a video of it. That was fun. Anyway, well, good luck with the Great Ocean Road. I'm sure that'll go well. And
thanks, mate. Weather's looking pretty good, and we just got a big dump of rain. So our waterfalls, Hopetoun and Beauchamp, should be looking pretty good. And we'll see what we get at the 12 Apostles, the Summer Apostles. Who knows? It's always a lucky dip when we head down there. So
do you have to pay to see them now?
Not yet. It's coming. So Parks Victoria don't handle that stretch of the Great Ocean Road anymore. Cam, it's getting so interesting. Yeah. Wow. So I've got my LTO for licensed tour operator for Parks Victoria now. And then I went through all the hoops to get it. Did you know how it is with all the insurances and everything like that. So I've got it, which is great. And then I get an email from them yesterday. No, not yesterday, Friday. Which actually when I was on the golf course, and it said, just so you know that two of the parks that you're visiting are no longer handled by Parks Victoria for licensing. Here's the website where you have to go and apply. So then I spent the afternoon applying to get those. And apparently there's an amnesty. If you've got the Parks Vic one, there's an amnesty that's going to sort of run till the end of this year before you have to get the new one from a group called, get this, Gorkarpa.
What the hell is Gorkarpa?
Great Ocean Road something in management. I don't know. Gorkarpa. Look them up. You'll see it. Yep. So they've taken over Port Campbell National Park and I think Great Otway. Can you believe it?
What the hell? What the hell is going on with your state up there? What's Victoria's going on? Shit.
I don't get it. I mean, why the red tape was hard enough? Why are you now introducing even more? So anyway, that's what happens.
Awesome. Well, you enjoy that. Jesus Christ.
Excellent. It's actually good that I do have the Parks Vic one because we're doing the Great Ocean Road together in a couple of months' time, so it'll be all covered.
Yeah. What's our next one? We've got Great Ocean Road,
June.
or is it?
We've got Kangaroo Island at the end of June, or to the back end of June, and then we've got Great Ocean Road in July. So,
yeah, that's right. Awesome. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, same. I enjoy the tours we do together, and I enjoyed particularly Great Ocean Road, but Kangaroo Island's going to be next level.
We might have to be on a better behaviour though. We've got a third guide with us, so she might bring our banter down a bit. I don't know. Maybe we should just involve her more in the banter.
She's going to lift these workshops. Are you kidding me?
Well, couldn't get much worse than us two.
That is it. That's the podcast. This has been episode 190 of the Down South Photo Show. We will see you in the near future for episode 191. It's been lovely chatting to you this evening, Cameron.
It's pissing down rain here in Hobart. Yes, you too, mate. Good to catch up. And we're back on track. I think I feel like we're getting into a groove.
The groove will be back. Comment below if you like our groove. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, Cameron.
Go D's.
Shut up. Beat me.